Hello there, and welcome back to the Prolific Author Podcast. I hope everyone is having a great week of writing. I don't think I have too many personal updates for you. I am just plugging along and working on things. I actually had a really crazy week last week and didn't feel like I got a whole lot done. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add to that, but I will in coming weeks. I've got some announcements coming up that'll be really, really fun, but I just got to get everything in place first. So I do have a really fun interview for you today that I'm excited for you to listen to. I'm interviewing Vanessa Gordon, and she is really big in the industry. I mean, not only is she an author herself, but she actually is the creator of a magazine called East End Taste, okay, that's based out of the Hamptons. So she really has her finger on the pulse of the publishing industry at large in a way that a lot of us indie authors don't. So we talk about kind of the changing state of the industry and, how things have been while COVID is going on and, how things are going to be challenging moving forward and all kinds of really, really interesting things. I think she's got a lot of great insights. Also, just a quick note, at one point, her son came in during the interview, super, super cute. But if you hear kind of a strange noise in the background, that's what it is. She is a mother as well as a working author, like so many of us are. And so, yeah, she's just like you and me, but she has some really great insights into how the industry is changing and kind of what to expect moving forward. So without further ado, let's hop into the interview. Welcome to the Prolific Author Podcast. Let's face it, readers read fiction to feel emotion and be transported and transformed. In this ongoing digital revolution, where online marketing is always in flux, the only way to create a sustainable author business and live off your royalties is to write transformational stories, market at every stage of the author journey, and cultivate a loyal audience of readers. Fortunately, there's never been more opportunity to make a living as a fiction author. Hi, I'm Liesl Hill, USA Today bestselling author and story clarity coach. When I'm not dictating my own stories about dragons, serial killers, and dystopian worlds, I help other authors write their own transformational fiction, position them as bestsellers, and market them like pros. Join me on the podcast where I give writing tips, marketing how-tos, story advice, and interviews with other authors who are in the trenches just like you and making it work. We are prolific authors. All right, we are here with Vanessa Gordon. How are you doing today, Vanessa?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for being here. Why don't you start by telling us who you are and what you write and what you do?
Hi, everyone. So my name is Vanessa Gordon. I'm the CEO and publisher of East End Taste magazine. And that is a digital publication and social media platform based out in the Hamptons, which is on the eastern end of Long Island. I'm also a novelist. I took a little bit of time off from that venture, but I do intend to go full force into that. I would say by this coming spring or summer. The reason why I put that off is because I was freelancing for a number of years and simply because I have my young family to raise.
Of course. Yeah. That sounds like you have a lot on your plate. So why don't we start by talking about the magazine? Tell us about it. What is it and what do you publish?
Sure, absolutely. So I started East End Taste originally back in 2014 as a blog. It really came out of just simply my interest of where I live, which is the east end of Long Island. It comprises of the North Fork and South Fork. We are very well known for our vineyards, and of course, the Hamptons is known for as the playground of the rich and famous. But that is really only a small snippet of what the Hamptons really is. There's a lot of farms out here, a lot of local purveyors. It's a really great year-round destination. We have beautiful ocean scenery, wildlife parks, etc. So anyway, it grew out of my love for my local region and of course my love for writing first and foremost. So I started that in tandem with freelance writing. And what was happening was people were, asking me, how do I keep in touch with you? What do you do? So I made up simple business cards and I wrote East End Taste on them, I remember. So people naturally would ask what that was. So from there, it was a snowball effect of, wow, so you do this as well. If I'm covering an event or a business, they would invite me back separately for East End Taste as opposed to who I was writing for at the time. So it was a really nice way to grow organically, fiercely, and pretty quickly. So I had that nice little edge there. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a full-time business since 2018. It started off as a hobby. Now it's a full-fledged venture.
So what kind of articles do you publish in it?
We publish mainly sustainable travel, food. So that encompasses dining, chef profile, specialty food, and such. And then we do a little bit of recipes here and there. We actually are trying to ramp that up a little bit. We also do wellness and fashion, and we are also trying to ramp up more interviews and such. So
nice. So for people who don't know, what is sustainable travel?
Sustainable travel. So that basically means that it is a limited, carbon footprint, as they say, or it profiles perhaps a hotel resort that enacts or practices sustainability, such as organic farming, working closely with local purveyors. There's so many different elements to it. I've written about, sustainability with different resorts in the Maldives, for instance, working with the coral reefs. But there are so many different aspects. It's actually a lot of fun to cover because you really get to the heart and soul of the region that you're covering.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. So do you have plans to expand it or grow more in the magazine area? Yeah,
we do hope to launch a print issue. We were hoping to do that last year, but I think our goal for this coming summer is to launch one print issue for the summer, just so we're kind of on paper, so to say. And I'd ideally like to see, maybe 2 issues per summer. But yes, no, we are growing fairly rapidly. We rebranded in January of 2020, hoping, of course, for more, travel opportunities and coverage, though we are still covering travel ventures, but we aren't physically traveling.
Yeah, so I guess that kind of COVID definitely nipped that in the bud for you, didn't it?
Certainly. 2020 was going to be the year, not so much in that respect.
So funny. Everybody I talk to has some version of that, all they were going to accomplish, and then everything just kind of came crashing down.
Yes, that's it. It's been okay. It's been okay, though. I kind of actually like kind of hanging back. It kind of made me find a different side of myself. It actually, made me rediscover, my love for writing even more, especially writing, creatively. So
sure, that's
happy
good
with that.
Well, that's a good segue into let's talk about your novel writing then. Have you already written or published any novels?
Yes, I have. I've published one under a pen name, and I'm in the process. I'm in the middle of one, and I'm starting or laying out the third one right now.
Gotcha. And what genres do you write?
I write realistic fiction or psychological thrillers.
Nice. Okay. And do you self-publish then, or are you traditional?
The first one was self-published. I am going to try to go the traditional route, though, this time.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So, how will your schedule and your life change when you kind of transition over into full-time writing?
Sure. So what I'm hoping to do is actually, I don't want to say hand off East End Taste, but I'm going to still be the owner, but I'm not going to be the one running anymore. I'm going to have a small staff on the one that's already underneath me, take the helm and go for it. And then me just kind of hang back.
Gotcha. Yeah, that'll be good. So tell me about your writing process. How do you go about getting your writing done?
Sure. So a lot of it, I have to walk around. I'm very old fashioned. I have to walk around with a notebook everywhere I go. I don't like typing on my phone. Actually, people know me as the one that speaks into my phone. Every time when I write emails, text messages, I am speaking into the phone. So half the time when I send an email, some people respond, "What did you say?" And I go, "What do you mean? What did I say?" I said, "Oh my God, what did I say?" That is so fun. It's funny. So now if I'm not doing, I'm not doing that right, but I actually prefer to write because I'm extremely, cautious of my privacy with writing. I'm always terrified that somebody somehow can, grab it, especially if it's on the World Wide Web in some capacity. So I'm very old fashioned. I write in a notebook or I write in a computer. That all my novels actually are written on a computer that has never been connected to the internet.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. So I've done that.
Do you dictate or do you just type on the keyboard?
I do a little bit of both. I like to dictate though, but once again, what did I say? So I mainly 80% of the time type it out.
Gotcha. All right. And, because you're kind of in a unique position, you've done the writing side of things, especially the indie side, and you've also done the magazine. So tell us what you're seeing in terms of the industry right now and the trends. Do you have anything, wisdom you could dispense on that?
Sure, certainly. So in the magazine realm, what I'm noticing is it's now very, it's driven monetarily. So a lot of businesses, they're really honestly out to just, make some money. So for instance, Forbes, New York Times, there's so many now that they're, subscription based, or it's just the way they, produce content. You have to, in some way, shape or form, pay for it. One of our local newspapers here, Newsday, does the same thing. You can only read a certain number of articles, and unless you have Optum Online, you have to pay for the subscription.
Right.
So, I mean, it is what it is. A lot of people are very irritated by that. I understand that. I don't intend for East End Taste to ever become that, unless I'm sending you the magazine physically in the mail. But other than that, it's really, I mean, they're losing money very quickly. So they're looking for any way, shape, or form to make money. But that's where social media comes in. There's really, and they, really any opportunity to make money, they will grab it. And it's one thing that people definitely don't realize about the industry is it's extraordinarily difficult. So people should necessarily expect, this content, to come about for them all the time. There has to be some sort of, incentive. Right.
Everybody's got to make a living, right?
Exactly. So it's kind of sad when people expect, things that were expected for free. It's like, no, not anymore. So it's a very delicate situation.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny to me that people think that anyway. I think it's just a symptom of being able to get so much free information online, but it's not like back in the day when most people had newspapers delivered, they weren't free. You still had to pay for them. So it's kind of funny that hasn't translated very well into the online space,
Yeah, I think it's because, even with these, I don't know if you've ever purchased a course or not. I've actually never done it. Just simply because I'm thinking to myself, gee, I could just go on YouTube, or I could, find it in the deep, you could find it somewhere for free. So I've never done a course of any kind. So a lot of people ask me, where did I learn this? Where did I learn that? I simply dug some more. And I'm also not afraid to ask questions. So I ask people, like, whenever I'm talking to someone that's been in the business, I ask as many questions as I can get out.
Right. And how about on the fiction side of things?
So what's going on there? So, I mean, people are still writing. And I think what's nice is when I hear that people still want to hold a physical book. I am one of those people. I've never read a book online or a Kindle or what have you. I can't. My eyes are so tired at the end of the day from doing the work that I already do online with writing. So any opportunity to remove my eyes from the screen, I will.
Yeah.
So people are writing there, and there's still a very, very strong network of writers. I'm on Twitter. I'm very, very active on Twitter, connected to a lot of authors. So there still is that space, and I'm so happy that it still exists. I think it's actually thriving now more than ever. It's just not as out there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And do you think that both industries are going to continue to grow moving forward?
I think so. Yes. I mean, media really kind of had a tricky time these past few years, and I don't think it's going to get any easier. I think it's going to get a lot more challenging, especially with we're simply with my writing and what I do. I go back to the roots of when I studied journalism in school. Have your sources and keep looking for the truth. That's really it.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to writers who are still up and coming and trying to figure it out?
Oh gosh. Well, I was there. I had my days where I truly I don't want to say give up, but I've just had it. I needed a break. So overwhelmed. I felt like everyone had an answer except me. Everyone knew what to do except me. And I felt like the lost babe in the woods, especially with finding freelance writing jobs, projects. How do these people do it? You will just slide right in at the right time, at the right moment, but do not let any opportunities pass you by. Seize any opportunity. What I strongly recommend to people, do not be afraid to reach out to people on LinkedIn and email them directly, simply saying, it's a pleasure to connect with you on LinkedIn. My name is, John Smith. I'm, recent college graduate, etc. And introduce yourself. You never, ever, ever know when an opportunity may arise.
Right. Yeah, that's wise advice. So have you found a lot of contacts on LinkedIn then?
Yes.
Yeah.
LinkedIn's my little I'll say secret weapon, if you will, but I have found much success with LinkedIn. And sometimes I have a strong network on Facebook. Sometimes I'll just ask a question or I'll post a question, and you'd be surprised who answers and who they refer you to. I've had very excellent success through that.
Nice. Good. Well, hey, thanks so much for talking to us today. Do you want to dispense any last minute advice or say anything else before we wrap up?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So to reiterate, never ever give up. LinkedIn, any platform, you never know who's looking, who's in a good way, who's watching your content. Keep yourself out there, keep your information relevant. And if you have a small business, this is something I strongly emphasize. Don't even let a week pass by, if possible. I understand everyone needs a break here and there, pass by without posting any content update. If you own a restaurant or a small business, bakery, if you will, and you have a special going on or whipping up something new in the kitchen, share it. Share as much as you can get out there, and people are interested.
Yeah, for sure. That's one good thing about the online space is you definitely can find an audience.
That's it. Take advantage of this free opportunity for marketing. It is free for the most part.
Great. And where can our listeners connect with you?
So everyone, you could find me. My digital publication is eastendtastemagazine.com. And I'm on most major social media platforms at East End Taste. And then my little dormant event page is Hampton's Interactive Brunch. We also do events during the summer season out here.
Nice.
But we hope to ramp those up again as soon as possible.
Great. Well, thanks again for being here and talking to us about publishing.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Me again. Before you go, if you found value in this episode, I would love it if you could leave me a review. Reviews are the best way to show your appreciation and help others find this podcast. Be sure to screenshot it, share it on your favorite social media network, and tag me at LK Hill Books. Remember, the world needs your stories. Only you can change someone's heart with your fire-breathing dragons, your mind-blowing mysteries, your epic romances, and your intense thrillers. So join the revolution and be a prolific author.